भारतीय जनता पार्टी की और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की एक राजनीतिक साजिश है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को अगर किसी एक नेता से डर लगता है तो वो नेता अरविंद केजरीवाल है। 2 साल में जब से इस केस का इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहा है, 2 साल में 1 रुपए की भी रिकवरी ना ईडी ना सीबीआई कर पाई है। 500 से ज्यादा अफसर इस केस में लगे हुए थे, 1000 से ज्यादा रेड्स हुए। आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के घर, मंत्रियों के घर, उनके ऑफिसेज में हर जगह रेड हुई, लेकिन उसके बावजूद 1 रुपया आज तक नहीं मिला है। तो आज लोकसभा का चुनाव अनाउंस होने के बाद अरविंद केजरीवाल का अरेस्ट एक राजनीतिक साजिश है। लेकिन मैं प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को कहना चाहती हूं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल सिर्फ एक इंसान नहीं है, अरविंद केजरीवाल एक विचार है। अगर आपको लगता है कि एक अरविंद केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार करके आप इस विचार को खत्म कर सकते हो तो आपको गलत लगता है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री थे, दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री हैं और दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे। हमने शुरू से स्पष्ट किया है कि अगर जरूरत पड़ेगी तो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी जेल से सरकार चलाएंगे। कोई भी ऐसा कानून नहीं है जो उन्हें जेल से सरकार चलाने से प्रोहिबिट करता है। उनका कोई कन्विक्शन नहीं हुआ है, उनका कोई कन्विक्शन नहीं हुआ है, वो ही दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे। ये लड़ाई चलती रहेगी।
कानूनी लड़ाई यानी कि मुख्यमंत्री अपने पद से इस्तीफा नहीं देंगे, ये आपने क्लियर कर दिया है।
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री हैं और दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे। ये बिल्कुल साफ है और ये बिल्कुल स्पष्ट है, इस पे कोई दो राय नहीं है।
कानूनी लड़ाई का क्या होगा?
हम बिल्कुल सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हमने केस फाइल कर दिया है। अरविंद केजरीवाल के अरेस्ट को क्वॉश करने का केस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में फाइल कर दिया है। अभी उसकी अर्जेंट मेंशनिंग के लिए हमारे वकील सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा रहे हैं। हम ये डिमांड करेंगे कि आज रात को ही इस केस की सुनवाई हो।
पॉलिटिकल फाइट
So the big news coming in on the broadcast. Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi Chief Minister, has now been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. That's the news we are getting this hour. We are, of course, getting these visuals as well, where, remember, Aam Aadmi Party workers, leaders had reached the Delhi CM's residence after the ED team had arrived for questioning. Reportedly, of course, they spoke to him, they questioned him, they took away his phones because the Aam Aadmi Party leader said they could not get in touch with him. And now we are learning that the ED has arrested Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Atishi was, of course, reacting to this news, saying that a team of lawyers who will represent Arvind Kejriwal are currently going to attempt to have an urgent hearing tonight itself. Remains to be seen whether that is something that the Chief Justice of India and the court permits, or whether hearing will only take place tomorrow. Remember, earlier in the day, the Delhi High Court had given no relief to Arvind Kejriwal. It was a setback for him in the High Court. We were learning that there was going to be a challenge to that tomorrow. But ahead of that, of course, the ED team arriving at Arvind Kejriwal's residence this evening, questioning him in the liquor case matter reportedly. And now, of course, word has come in that the Chief Minister has been arrested. He is still inside his residence as we speak. He will be perhaps taken to the ED office in some time from now. Remember, of course, various Aam Aadmi Party workers were also detained after Section 144 was imposed outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. We have seen also ministers like Saurabh Bhardwaj and Atishi there for the last couple of hours. The Speaker of the Assembly, Ramnivas Goyal, was also spotted there. The Aam Aadmi Party, of course, claiming that this is political vendetta. This is being done ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. Obviously, the BJP, of course, claiming that the law is taking its own course. The ED, remember, has argued in court that Arvind Kejriwal has avoided summons. 9 summons so far have been served to him, which he's not appeared for. His lawyers, of course, telling the court that he fears arrest, which is why he has not gone before the Enforcement Directorate. But remember, no relief was given to him today by the Delhi High Court. And now, of course, the Delhi CM arrested in the Delhi liquor scam case. big news coming in this hour. Akshit Gupta, my colleague, is joining us with the very latest. Akshit, what can you share with us? Is it now official? Have your sources confirmed? Has the ED put out a formal statement? Arvind Kejriwal under arrest?
Well, yes, the big breaking which is coming in right now is that the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested in the Delhi excise case. And of course, we are just outside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister. And of course, chaotic visuals here unfolding because a lot of protesters are here taking a foot march all outside the residence because currently Arvind Kejriwal is being taken to the Enforcement Directorate office. Remember, this is coming all after the High Court refused the protection to Arvind Kejriwal for any coercive action by the Enforcement Directorate. Of course, the big news coming in after skipping 9 summons, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested in the Delhi.
Meanwhile, a legal challenge is also being mounted. Is that correct, Akshit? A team is ready of lawyers representing Arvind Kejriwal. Are they going to try and move for an urgent hearing tonight itself, as Atishi is indicating?
Well, yes, when it comes to the legal planning, then of course, Arvind Kejriwal has been planning legally and a team of lawyers is also ready because Arvind Kejriwal has approached the Supreme Court in the matter. So, of course, he will be taken to the ED. There also he will be, questioned. And of course, it will be very crucial to see as to how this pans out because remember, this all is coming ahead of the 2024 general elections. So, of course, in that very aspect also, it becomes crucial to see as to how things pan out.
Absolutely, of course. And so far, okay, I think we can also see our reporters on ground. Akshit, stay with us. Joining us at this point, also with us in our studio is NewsX Editor-in-Chief Rishabh Gulati. Let me try and rope in Rishabh onto the broadcast as I can also see Brian and Ashish Sinha, I think, also joining us. We'll just try and go to them as well in a second. Rishabh, clearly, of course, big news coming in. This is Arvind Kejriwal, the CM of Delhi now, who has been officially arrested by the ED. They have been serving him summons for weeks now. He has not appeared so far. What are the ramifications of this arrest?
Fascinating. Who would have thought this morning that the sitting Chief Minister of Delhi by this evening would be in ED custody? This is an arrest. The ED has powers of arrest. The court, remember, as you've been mentioning, denied a bail application, paving the way for what has happened. But honestly, a couple of hours ago, you wouldn't have thought this is what happened. Now, while it would be ideal for us as observers of what is taking place to divorce the case from the politics, that would be ideal. Then let's look at the Liquorgate case, what happened, the sequence of events, the number of ministers who have already been spending several weeks and several months in jail, the various other charges that have been put against other ministers, one of whom has been in jail for way more than a year. And the politics should be put aside. Unfortunately, we are in political season. It's going to be impossible to put the politics of this aside. Now, for me, cannot see what is advantage BJP in this in any regard. So many people are thinking, of course it's 4 weeks before an election. So of course it's political. I do not see any advantage BJP in this. You have just given the Aam Aadmi Party and their the most important face in the Aam Aadmi Party. The party is Arvind Kejriwal. Let's not kid ourselves. And you've given them a cause to get on the streets. They're going to be on the streets of Delhi. They're going to be on the streets of Punjab. They'll be marching probably from Punjab to Delhi. I'm told Bhagwant Mann is already on his way. And this is going to be pandemonium in the national capital. Atishi says he's not going to go resign. They are ready to fight it out. Now, what happens is that the political fight is now going to overturn what is an investigative cycle that is taking place. And our record in investigative cycle in political cases is very poor. The conviction, literally we have Lalu Yadav convicted and Jayalalitha convicted. 2 convictions that we've seen in such kinds of cases. The National Herald case in which, which Rahul Gandhi is an accused, on which he has also received bail, has been going on for a long period of time. Now the Enforcement Directorate has the rights and the powers, and there's no denying the fact that Arvind Kejriwal was given 7, 8, 9 summons. There's no denying the fact that that took place. But the question, of course, is I don't see a political advantage right now to any political party. I don't think that the Enforcement Directorate is working under that dimension. But what we do have to fundamentally understand is that it's going to be difficult to divorce the politics right now. We have to now figure out what the election Enforcement Directorate is saying in terms of the charges. What has actually happened? Is he going to apply for bail? Is he going to get the bail? What happens after that? We'll have to delve in a bit deeper on this.
Okay. Rishabh, stay with us. In fact, I'm being told Atishi has spoken to our colleague. Atishi, Aam Aadmi Party minister, is outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence currently. She has spoken with NewsX and India News. Let's play that up.
फाइल कर दी है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट को हम अर्जेंट हियरिंग के लिए आज रात ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट सुनवाई करे, इसके लिए हमने रिक्वेस्ट की।
वो रिजाइन करेंगे?
अरविंद केजरीवाल दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री थे, हैं और रहेंगे।
चलिए, आपका धन्यवाद। तो आप सुन रहे थे कि आतिशी कह रहे हैं कि रिजाइन वो नहीं करेंगे, वो मुख्यमंत्री थे और रहेंगे। जी मनोज।
Atishi speaking exclusively with ITV network there. Atishi has said Arvind Kejriwal will not be stepping down. Atishi also saying that tonight itself the Supreme Court will be moved, urgent hearing will be sought, relief will be sought for the Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal. Joyita Basu, editor of Sunday Guardian, also joining us now. Joyita, big news coming in. What is going to be the fallout of this arrest of Arvind Kejriwal?
Well, I would agree with Rishabh when he says that, we should not be seeing it through political lens, because after all, when you are looking at it, it's, I think, the 9th summons. In fact, the first summons must have gone months earlier. It's just, I would say, coincidence that finally he could not evade the summons. He could not finally evade the summons, and he had to appear. He had to meet the ED, as a result of which this has happened. This is the legal provision. And you see, if you are looking at what happened at Delhi High Court today, the Delhi High Court basically initially was not keen to give them the go-ahead, but then, of course, the ED showed them the court, the evidence, and what happened after that was that, after the evidence was shown, the Delhi High Court said that we cannot give him immunity. So obviously the question is about, what has the Delhi Chief Minister done? And you see here the arrest of Kavita becomes important, because according to the ED, Kavita has confessed to giving Kejriwal 100 crores. So obviously, listen, I know he is the Chief Minister of Delhi, but it seems that the case against he and his associates is coming to be very strong, because you see, in spite of several attempts, they are not getting bail. So what is going on? The thing is that let us see what the Supreme Court says. If the Supreme Court, to save Mr. Kejriwal, sits at midnight and decides that they will get bail, we will see how it goes.
Okay, let me bring in Javed Hussain, who's joining us live from the ED office in Delhi. Javed, what is the situation there at the ED office? Are there certain officers present? If Arvind Kejriwal is taken away from his residence right now, which I believe in moments perhaps he would be, where will he first be brought? And what's the procedure ahead?
जी देखिए, सुबह से ही जिस वक्त ये कोर्ट में मामला चल रहा था, उसके बाद से ही मामला पूरी तरीके से गर्मा गया था। और जिस तरीके से कोर्ट ने, जो जज हैं, उन्होंने अपने चैम्बर में सारे जो एविडेंस है जो ईडी ने कोर्ट में रखा था, सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स को अपने पास मंगवाया था और सबूत को लेकर, एविडेंस को लेकर ईडी से पूछा था। तो ईडी ने जवाब दिया था कि उनके पास इतने पर्याप्त सबूत हैं जिसमें कार्रवाई की जा सकती है। मैं इस वक्त ईडी के ऑफिस के बाहर हूँ और लगातार जो दिल्ली पुलिस सिक्योरिटी के साथ जो मूवमेंट है, वो मूवमेंट काफ़ी तेज हो गई। देखिए, बैरिकेड को यहां पे लगा दिया गया है और पूरी तरीके से दिल्ली पुलिस के जो जवान है वो यहां पर डिप्यूट किया गया है और जो ईडी के जो ऑफिसर्स हैं उनकी मूवमेंट जो है वो लगातार यहां पे बढ़ गई। मैं आपको ये तस्वीर दिखाना चाहूंगा कि देखिए, यहां पर सिक्योरिटी को लेकर दिल्ली पुलिस पूरी तरीके से अलर्ट है और यहां से ही अभी थोड़ी देर में बताया गया है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल को उनके रेजिडेंस से निकाला जाएगा। वहां से ईडी के जो ऑफिसर्स वहां पे पहुंचे हैं, 7 से 8 लोगों की पूरी टीम है और पूरी सुरक्षा का इंतजाम किया जा रहा है, क्योंकि क्योंकि दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री हैं और जो 10वां जो समन है वो लेकर पहले जाया गया था और साथ में वारंट भी था। तो इस तरीके की जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स है वहां पर लेके पहुंचा गया और ये जो पूरा मामला है ये जो लीकर पॉलिसी है जिसको लेकर दिल्ली सरकार इंट्रोड्यूस की थी और जिसमें कई जो सामने स्कैम हुआ था उस स्कैम को लेकर जो ये पूरा मामला सामने आया है और इसमें पहले से ही मनीष सिसोदिया और साथ ही संजय सिंह वो गिरफ्तार हो चुके हैं। कई ऐसे इसमें जो रोल है राजीव पिल्लाई हैं, इसके अलावा कई बड़ी कंपनियां जिनको रूल आउट किया गया था जो अरेस्ट हुए थे, उसके बाद कई लोग इसमें गवाह भी बने थे। वो ये मामला पूरी तरीके से लगातार चल रहा था और यहां से कुछ दूरी पर ईडी ऑफिस है जहां पर जो है कुछ ही देर में जो जानकारी मिल रही है कि दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल को लेकर यहां पर पहुंचेगी ईडी की टीम और आप सुरक्षा के इंतजाम यहां पर देख सकते हैं। और जिस तरीके से कोर्ट में मैं आपको बताऊं कि जो कोर्ट में आज पूरा जो प्रोसीजर हुआ, जिस तरीके से पूछा गया कि कोर्ट ने ईडी से पूछा कि क्या कोई ऐसी डॉक्यूमेंट्स है जिससे कि आप दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री यानी केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार करना चाहते हैं, क्या आपके पास ऐसी सफिशिएंट एविडेंस है। तो ईडी की तरफ से जवाब दिया जाता है कि हमारे पास जो है जो एविडेंस है वो पूरी तरीके से एविडेंस कंप्लीट है और कानून का उल्लंघन करने वाले व्यक्ति सुनवाई के हकदार नहीं है, ये ईडी की तरफ से कहा गया आज। इसके बाद ईडी ने हाईकोर्ट को यह भी क्लियर किया कि अरविंद केजरीवाल को दिल्ली मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पर नहीं बल्कि व्यक्तिगत यानी कि पर्सनल हैसियत के तौर पर समन दिया जा रहा है, क्योंकि जो पूरा मामला है वो 100 करोड़ की जो एक साउथ की तरफ से जो लॉबिंग की गई थी लीकर पॉलिसी को लेकर वो वहां पर वो मामला सामने आया। उसके अलावा जो ये पॉलिसी को एग्जीक्यूट किया गया, इंप्लीमेंट किया गया, जिसमें दिल्ली सरकार का पूरा रोल बताया जा रहा है और बतौर मुख्यमंत्री जो अरविंद केजरीवाल है, जो अभी तक की जांच में हम बता दें सूत्रों से कि ये तमाम एंगल्स है जिसको लेकर, क्योंकि ये भी बताया जा रहा है कि लीकर पॉलिसी को लेकर जो मीटिंग है वो भी अरविंद केजरीवाल के घर पे हुआ था। तो ऐसे में ये तमाम ऐसे जो एविडेंस है, इसके अलावा लगातार जो इसमें जो गवाह थे, कुछ लोग जिनको गिरफ्तार किया गया।
I want to go straight across now to Arvind Kejriwal's residence. My colleague Aditya is standing there. Aditya, if you can hear me, what is happening there inside? Is Arvind Kejriwal still inside his residence? We are learning, of course, that the ED has arrested him now, will perhaps be taking him in a bit from inside his residence to the ED office. What are you learning there, Aditya? And what are the scenes around you? Are Aam Aadmi Party workers still present or have they all been detained now?
शुरुआती दौर में पहले गेट नंबर 1 है जहाँ पे वहाँ पे लोग जमा हुए थे, जो भी कार्यकर्ता हैं वो, लेकिन धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे लोगों को भान होने लगा, अंदाजा होने लगा कि ईडी जो है गेट नंबर 2 की तरफ लेकर आएगी, तो गेट नंबर 2 के पास में जो है उनको
Okay, I think we've lost Aditya there, but as Aditya is saying, Arvind Kejriwal is still inside his residence. There is news that he could be taken from gate number 2 by the enforcement directorate, which is why the Aam Aadmi Party workers are going towards that side. Yes, Aditya, you're back with us. बताइए आदित्य, जैसे आप कह रहे हैं कि और भी कार्यकर्ता वहां आ रहे हैं इस वक्त, ये खबर सुनकर।
जी, और भी कार्यकर्ता आ रहे हैं। विधायक विजय संजीव झा यहाँ पे उपस्थित है, आपसी उपस्थिति, इस तरीके के तमाम जो बड़े नेता हैं वो यहाँ पे उपस्थित है और ये सभी जो है विरोध कर रहे हैं ईडी के कार्रवाई के खिलाफ में, ईडी के जो अधिकारी जो यहाँ पर आए और प्रसाद जो कर रहे हैं उनके खिलाफ में, और संख्या धीरे धीरे जो है लगातार बढ़ती जा रही है। मैं अभी कोशिश कर रहा हूँ आपको दिखाने की, पीछे जो इस तरीके से है गेट नंबर 2 के सामने में पूरा भरा हुआ लोग यहाँ पे जो किनारे वाले में, और जो ईडी के जो अधिकारी उनके खिलाफ पूरा सड़क है वो जाम है। पूरा जो सिविल लाइन वाला जो एरिया है वो पूरा का पूरा ट्रैफिक में फंसा हुआ है, क्योंकि कार्यकर्ता जो अजीब सड़क पर बैठ गए हैं। पूरी जो सड़क है उसको मैं आपको तस्वीरें दिखाना चाहूंगा कि किस तरीके की स्थिति यहाँ पर है। अब ये देखेंगे जो कार्यकर्ता है आम पार्टी के, वो जो बैठ गए हैं और जो है ईडी के खिलाफ नारे लगा रहे हैं और जो पूरे
जी बिल्कुल। तो अभी भी आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता हैं वहां। देयर आर वर्कर्स ऑफ द आप क्लियरली स्टिल प्रेजेंट देयर। दे आर sloganeering. They're of course clearly upset with the news of Arvind Kejriwal's arrest. In fact, as we're getting news now also that perhaps more workers could also be mobilized. The Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann has also left from Delhi. That's also news that's flashing on our screens currently. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, also joining us now. Himanshu, this is big news indeed coming in. Arvind Kejriwal being arrested. This is something that the that was being feared for a while now by the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, he was summoned multiple times but chose not to appear. Obviously, the ED believes they have a strong case against him. But now this arrest coming just ahead of the Lok Sabha polls, What are the ramifications going to be, Himanshu?
Before I talk of political ramifications...
Okay, Himanshu, just stay with us. The Delhi Mayor is reacting. Shelley Oberoi is speaking. Let's quickly go across. Okay, so clearly, of course, Aam Aadmi Party leaders, ministers, workers, senior party members present there reacting to this news of Arvind Kejriwal's arrest. Yes, Himanshu, please complete.
This is what will happen, you know. Politically, the ramifications are going to be big. They are going to play with this. They are trying to go. They are trying to go out and say people that, you know, some injustice is being done with us. And that is what they will play sympathy card, victim card. But if you see, you know, today morning, when he went to High Court and ED was asked categorically by the court, you know, that what do you have against? They wanted to see the files, and the moment they saw the files, they came and said, you know, we cannot grant you anything. That is what was said by High Court to Arvind Kejriwal. And that made it very, very clear that Kavita has sung. Kavita is not turned approver right now, but that is what she probably has indicated. And ED has made that case very, very strong. And based on that, I think this arrest is coming. I think what I feel is, you know, during the election time, still Delhi goes to polls, you know, Delhi will be voting on what, 25th of May. There's full 2 months there. But before that, are you creating a euphoria? Creating, you know, that image what he was trying to build up. Pakka Imandar Admi. And that, when it is shattered, what does a party do? They will go out of the street, try and prove everything what they did was right. And we are looking for a few days of chaos in the national capital. I'll not be surprised, you know, if there's a few days of chaos there. Because they are going to go up, is going to go and play a big victim card on the streets of Delhi now. And they will do that natak. As you know, Atishi said, by midnight there'll be Supreme Court will be burning oil and will try and get a relief for him. And if suppose Supreme Court doesn't give him relief, then you will find the Chief Minister running the government of Delhi from jail. In 75 years of history of Indian independence, this will happen because once this advocates will be able to tell more. I remember during the Jayalalitha's case, Amma Jayalalitha's case, there was some discussion going on whether someone can be a chief minister and run the state from the jail or not.
Right.
There is an incident, I'm not quite sure. So, you know, this might again happen. You know,
okay, yeah, that's what Atishi is indicating, Himanshu, that Arvind Kejriwal is not going to resign. If necessary, he will run the government from jail if, of course, he's given no relief by the court. But we will have to, of course, wait and watch what happens. Rishabh, quickly drawing you back in here, as you know, Himanshu was just mentioning, this is the second high-profile arrest in this, political high-profile arrest in this case. We saw K. Kavita of the BRS also arrested just a few days ago. Obviously, the BRS also tried to bring those protests from Telangana to Delhi as well. Perhaps there will be more political posturing by the Aam Aadmi Party as well in the days ahead.
Okay, with all due respect to K. Kavita as a politician, whether she has done something culpably criminal or not, we'll find out. But it's not the second high-profile arrest. This is the high-profile arrest. Now, Himanshu ji, of course, arguing on the logical, thematic, procedural, legal, technical grounds. But I'm finding it very difficult to think that as things stand in Delhi, how this will be divorced from the politics of it. So what is expected to happen now? Can we reasonably expect that the Aam Aadmi Party by midnight tonight is going to be out on the streets en masse? Can we reasonably expect that Bhagwant Mann will show up? That he will show up and try to increase his numbers and his presence for his party chief? If he does, will you arrest him also for, you know, breaking section 144? So I don't understand how the politics on this is going to be divorced. Now, we have to make sure that there is a case happening. We are assuming that the Enforcement Directorate has a modicum or more than a modicum of evidence on which they are acting. But the truth is the track record of prosecution to the point of conviction in criminal cases, whether they be corruption cases or otherwise, of politicians is woefully bad. I can only think of two in living memory, where two people have been convicted and have already gone to jail because they've been convicted, not tried. Now, the reality check is that this becomes the biggest story in the country now. Arvind Kejriwal is now going to be on every single television screen. He is going to be on every single newspaper cover from the north of the country to the south of the country. By this time tomorrow, from Mamata Banerjee to maybe some friendly faces, maybe even the Congress who were out themselves complaining today about some bank account issues that they are facing. All of them are probably going to lock hands. Now, there is a difference between a party leader and the party leader. This applies to everyone, every political party. Okay, this is the party leader. The Aam Aadmi Party is Arvind Kejriwal, and Arvind Kejriwal is necessarily the Aam Aadmi Party. The party won't be an effective force without him. Okay, so you've seen the mayor has shown up. Now you're going to pick them up and put them away in buses. So obviously the Delhi cops are going to have their hands full for a period of time. I cannot fathom the political advantage that is to be sought here. I don't think this is a political chess move because I cannot fathom the political advantage. You've given Arvind Kejriwal exactly what he wanted. He needed a good cause. It is not easy to convince people that the hero that they voted for is corrupt. Okay. We saw that test happen in the MCD elections in Delhi when the same Liquorgate scam. Did something dodgy happen in the liquor policy in Delhi? It probably did. Otherwise, the policy would not have been scrapped. Was it directly to the helm of Arvind Kejriwal and he had his hand in the till? I don't know. I'm assuming the the Enforcement Directorate has the evidence on the basis. But I'm only looking at bottom lines. The bottom lines is right now, every single news portal, publication, news channel are all now parked outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence for his supporters and his fans. Now he's a martyr to the cause. There are elections 1 month away. Whether we can divorce the legalese from the elections, I don't see how that's going to happen. Bhagwant Mann is going to show up. I'm sure all the other opposition political leaders may also show up in Delhi. You can't arrest them all for violating Section 144. You've given the opposition a cause from a political point of view, which is why I don't think this is a political move at all, because it makes no sense. What the case is, unless we, of course, see the trial begin in court, and we're not at trial level. If this goes back to the Supreme Court, I don't know how the Supreme Court is going to view this. Okay, the Supreme Court has certainly had very strong things to say on electoral bonds and other transparency and democracy in the country. They might tell the Enforcement Directorate to expedite the trial or release him on bail. So it's very unpredictable. The arrest itself, I don't think was predictable. If you'd asked me 2 hours ago, will Arvind Kejriwal be arrested? The ED showed up. I would have said no, it's unlikely he's going to be arrested because they've given him so many notices, he's not shown up for any, and they're not taking any action. So whether they're taking belated action, but the scenes that you're seeing on the streets of Delhi are going to get uglier. So at least even in that part of Delhi, well, avoid traveling this evening because it's going to be unpleasant. Hopefully it doesn't become too unpleasant and sanguinity can prevail, and that's what we hope, Uday. But
yes,
complex.
Civil lines, of course, is currently in a sensitive situation. Section 144, of course, imposed there. A lot of Aam Aadmi Party workers are reaching. They are being detained as we speak. Reactions also have begun. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Congress General Secretary, has also tweeted on the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal, as Rishabh was saying. Presumably, India Alliance members will back Arvind Kejriwal. The politics of this, of course, is all to see because he is the head of a political party. There will be political ramifications of this arrest. A war of words has already erupted. Let me try and go back to Aditya, if he can hear me. Aditya, is Arvind Kejriwal still inside his home? Do we have any word by when the ED is likely to leave from his residence? Will he be taken for a medical straight away? Aditya, क्या आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं? Okay, I think we've lost Aditya's connection there. Let me. Okay, I think we have a couple of other guests as well who we are going to try and bring in. Chandni Preeti Shah, political analyst, is joining us live. We also have Ramakant Gaur, Supreme Court lawyer, live with us. Mr. Gaur, let me come to you first. Now, there was no relief given to Arvind Kejriwal earlier by the Delhi High Court today. who obviously did question him for why he didn't appear in any of these 9 summons before the Enforcement Directorate. Now, if the Supreme Court says move tonight itself, what happens next? What do you believe will be the Supreme Court's view of interim relief sought by Arvind Kejriwal? Oh, beg your pardon, it's not going to be interim anymore because Arvind Kejriwal has now been arrested. It will, of course, be regular bail that he will now have to apply for.
And he would be challenging, as K. Kavita has challenged her arrest before Supreme Court. He would be doing the same. He would be getting recourse like that. But if you look at the facts, what has Arvind Kejriwal been doing? For last 6 months, he has been evading summons. Why do he rush to the Supreme Court now? Why
yes,
did he go
do you believe it's pretty unlikely?
Today?
Do you also believe it's pretty unlikely that that case will be heard tonight itself?
Case may be heard. It depends whether Chief Justice feel it appropriate to give it to some other bench. But as a matter of fact, there is nothing remained. The petition of Arvind Kejriwal was to seek stay from the coercive process. Coercive process has already been taken. So they have to change their petition. They have to go back to the Supreme Court again. There is nothing remained today. So whatever would happen tomorrow morning. And the matter would be mentioned before Honorable Chief Justice of India. And that too in a normal course, like an email would be sent and then the registrar or the apex court would decide whether this case would be listed, and if it is being listed, then
yes. But there is a precedent, Ramakant Gaur, because even in the case in Jharkhand, Hemant Soren had also skipped multiple summons before the ED finally arrested him.
See, this gives ED more power, more good reasons to arrest. If somebody is evading the process of law, then what an investigating agency would do? See, the law is you join the investigation if they feel like that there has been some material in their possession and they feel it appropriate, they will have reason to believe to cause arrest, they will do so. At least go there. Or if you are not going there, assail the summons or the entire process on day 1. For 6 months, you have been waiting. You have been playing like a crybaby as usual. So this is something which is not palatable. This case was registered on 17th August 2022.
The fact that there was no relief given by the Delhi High Court today, what can be read into that?
No. Before that, you look at the Manish Sisodia's bail application, where Justice Sanjeev Khanna said, yes, there are certain evidences, and if there are certain evidences, culminate the trial, expedite the trial. And court orally mentioned it, why this political party has not been made accused. So there is something. It is not that it is simpliciter a case of political nature only. It's a case where criminality is there, evidences are there, and this matter has been travelled to Supreme Court in number of accused persons' case. Like Satyendra Jain's bail application was dismissed. He was arrested on 30th May 2022. Right. He was sent back to jail. So there are evidence. It's not a case which is devoid of evidence.
Okay, let me bring in Chandni Preeti Shah, political analyst, also quickly for her comment. Chandni Preeti Shah, clearly the political optics has already begun. The Aam Aadmi Party is saying that this is vendetta. They're questioning the timing of the arrest. They're saying, what was the ED doing for so many months? Why did the summons start just before the Lok Sabha polls? They're saying this is an attempt to stop their star campaigner from traversing the country.
So Uday, no one is above the law of the land. No individual, no political party, nobody, right? So when we talk about Arvind Kejriwal, the summons, I do not think has started just. They have been, ED has been sending summons to Arvind Kejriwal since October. He has been evading those summons from October. He has been giving appearances elsewhere, but he has not been giving appearances in the ED. right? Now, summons does not mean an arrest. It means that you are being asked to participate in an interrogation where your party, the Aam Aadmi Party, has been accused of getting kickbacks from a South liquor cartel, and in accordance with your Goa elections. So if this is the case that is being drawn, and if Manish Sisodia was arrested, his bail was rejected, and as Ramakant sir said earlier, what court observed during his hearings, would you say that Arvind Kejriwal was not aware of what was happening behind his back? This is a very big question. I mean, and ED today grilled Kejriwal for 2.5 hours. After that, he was arrested. So it is not that, there is something that is unconstitutional going around and Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested because of some political, pressure. It is because his involvement is being seen somewhere. The court today, when saw the papers, saw the what the prosecution or what the ED had to submit in the court, what proofs they had against Kejriwal. That is the very basic reason that they rejected the plea that he would not be given any protection from any coercive action. Right? Why would that happen? Are you saying that even the judiciary is being controlled by BJP? Even the judiciary is being controlled by Narendra Modi and Amit Shah? No, it's not. You might put allegations over the central agencies and that the political party keep doing. But are you going to also say the same for the judiciary? It's not possible. They've seen something substantial that has made them reject the plea. And the ED has something substantial which has resulted into the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal. So whatever is happening, I have full faith in the judiciary. If tomorrow, if they go to the Supreme Court against this arrest, I am very much sure that the Supreme Court is not going to go against the High Court orders because the High Court judge has seen something and passed the orders.
Okay.
And the judiciary has a very mutual respect for, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, So Arvind Kejriwal's arrest, he's going to join the jail gang soon.
Okay. Politics, the political optics has begun, Rishabh. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has, of course, put out a tweet. She's condemning the way Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested. The BJP is saying law is taking its course. They're saying this is vindication for them because they've always maintained that he was also guilty in the liquor policy case in which Manish Sisodia and Satyendra Jain are both behind bars.
First of all, I'm not going to presuppose for a second what the Supreme Court is going to do. Okay, let's not even get there. They're going to make their own judgment call on the basis of what they hear and what they see, depending on when they want to see the petitions, when they are filed. Let's report that as it happens, rather than presaging any of that. That's a procedural matter. There is some discretion available to the judges and the CJI on these procedural matters, when to hear them, how urgently to hear them, and that discretion is pretty much the discretion of the CJI. Okay. How efficiently on the technical grounds of filings of petitions and how efficiently the legal team behind this, and I'm assuming supported by a lot of luminaries from the legal fraternity or members of opposition political parties, might or might not be helping in this process. So there's a procedural matter. Now the BJP, I don't think is going to be out and about, making hay at this point of time, from a very practical reason, which I just told you, because for those people who have the back in the mind that this is politics, it is unlikely to be politics, because I cannot fathom any advantage to BJP to be gained from this. Okay, the only bottom line question remains, and that's the only question that matters right now. Okay, the rest of it is technical, legal, that within the people out there who are either Aam Aadmi Party voters, supporters, fans like Kejriwal, and the rest of the public at large in the country, are we seeing fire where we have seen the smoke? Are now more and more people suspicious that Arvind Kejriwal had his hand in the till, that he himself is personally corrupt after having, of course, been a campaigner against corruption through the course of his early life that then eventually turned into founding a political party? It is in that perception battle, let us not kid ourselves, that a lot of things are going to be won and lost. Because unfortunately, the legal case is going to go on for years. It is going to go on for years. Okay? So whatever fast tracking you do, the ED is not going to be able to investigate, prosecute and convict in the next 3-4 days, couple of weeks. It's going to go on for months, if not years.
Yes.
So right now, the factor is on a technical ground, and the factor is, are the people out there convinced? And how far the Aam Aadmi Party is going to escalate this, because they're going to try their darndest to escalate it on the streets.
Yes.
They're going to fight the legal battle and they're going to fight it on the streets. How far are they capable, willing to escalate it? Now that remains to be seen.
Absolutely. Well, let's quickly bring in Manohar Kesri as well, who's joining us live from Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Manohar, show us around what's happening there currently. Aam Aadmi Party workers, of course, continuing to demonstrate. They are protesting. We are learning that more protests are being planned tomorrow as well. As far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, do we have any word as to in how much time the ED will leave along with Kejriwal from his residence?
देखिए बिल्कुल अरविंद केजरीवाल को किसी भी वक्त जो है सो यहाँ से ले जाया जाएगा, लेकिन आपको यहाँ का नज़ारा दिखाता हूँ। जो अरविंद केजरीवाल के घर के जस्ट बगल वाली सड़क है, वहाँ पर लगातार प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं कार्यकर्ता और सड़कों पर बैठ चुके हैं, जिसकी वजह से जाम लग गया है। ये सड़क जो है सो मॉडल टाउन की ओर जाती है और जस्ट अपोजिट जो है सो ISBT की ओर जाती है। तो ऐसी स्थिति में बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कत है। और देखिए पुलिस के आला अधिकारी यहाँ पर आ चुके हैं, जो DCP रैंक है, ACP रैंक के अधिकारी आ चुके हैं और सड़क खाली करवाने की यहाँ पर लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। आम आदमी पार्टी के यहाँ पर मंत्री आतिशी मौजूद हैं, संजीव झा मौजूद हैं, तमाम जो आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता हैं वो लगातार यहाँ पर प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं। मैं आपको यहाँ के कार्यकर्ता जो सड़क पर बैठे हुए हैं इन लगातार करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। अब आप देखिए, आप लोग यहाँ सड़क पर बैठे हुए हैं और पीछे गाड़ियों का एक लंबा कारवां।
सभी इंसान हैं भाई साहब, सभी इंसान हैं। मोदी जी जो कर रहे हैं वो ठीक कर रहे हैं क्या?
लेकिन शराब नीति घोटाले में लगातार उनसे 9 बार समन किया गया था, वो नहीं गए।
देखिए ये कोई शराब नीति नहीं है, ये सिर्फ मोदी जी डर गए हैं, केजरीवाल जी से इतने डर गए हैं कि वो रातों रात अरेस्ट करवाने को भेज देते हैं, ED को आगे कर देते हैं। कोई शराब घोटाला नहीं है, आज तक कुछ मिला है? 9 सम्मन आ गए।
ये कहना है कि केंद्र सरकार जो खड़ी हुई है, आप देखिए लगातार दिल्ली पुलिस अनाउंसमेंट कर रही है कि सड़क को खाली कर दिया जाए। ये आप देखिए स्पीकर लेकर कर रही है, लगातार अनाउंसमेंट कर रही है।
आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि बाधा नहीं पहुंचाएं। आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट किया जाता है कि आप यातायात में बाधा नहीं पहुंचाएं। आप प्लीज, आप सड़क पे नहीं बैठ सकते हैं, आप सड़क से उठें।
इस तरह से आप देख सकते हैं दिल्ली पुलिस के जवान लगातार सड़क को खाली करवाने रहे, लाउड स्पीकर लेकर के यहाँ पर लगातार अपील कर रहे हैं कि आप जो है सो यहाँ से सड़क को खाली कर दें, रोड ट्रैफिक को जो है सो आप बाधित न करें। और यहाँ पर देखिए पुलिस बल की संख्या बढ़ा दी गई है सड़कों के ऊपर। ये यहाँ का नज़ारा है। रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स भी यहाँ पर पहुँच चुके हैं। जो अरविंद केजरीवाल के घर के पास एक टुकड़ियाँ थी उसको यहाँ पर सड़कों पर ले आया गया है। और लगातार देखिए ये आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं को डिटेन करके बस में ले जाया जा रहा है। मैं आपको ग्राउंड जीरो से दिखा रहा हूं NewsX पे। ये आप देखिए, ये यहाँ पर अभी कुछ देर पहले जिसे हम बात कर रहे थे उनको जो है सो बस में भर करके ले जाया जा रहा है, क्योंकि किसी भी वक्त अरविंद केजरीवाल को मेडिकल टेस्ट के लिए भी यहाँ से ले जाया जाएगा, उसके बाद ED दफ्तर ले जाया जा सकता है। तो ये आप देखिए, ये नज़ारा, ये उठा करके दिल्ली पुलिस के जवान जो है सो उन्हें भर रहे हैं बस में और डिटेन कर रहे हैं। कुछ देर पहले राखी बिरला जो आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायक का है उसको भी डिटेन करके बस से ले जाया गया है। तो ये यहाँ का नज़ारा है और लगातार लोग देखिए प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, सड़कों पर उतर रहे हैं, कह रहे हैं ये दिल्ली की जनता का सवाल है, वो दिल्ली का बेटा है, इस वजह से उन्होंने कोई भ्रष्टाचार नहीं किया है।
जी बिल्कुल मनोहर, और हम देख रहे हैं कि ये जो प्रदर्शन जो है वो और भी बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। मगर अगर हम बात करें आगे की प्रक्रिया की, as you're saying, the ED could leave any moment now from Arvind Kejriwal's residence. कहाँ ले जाएंगे वो अरविंद केजरीवाल को? आगे की प्रक्रिया क्या रहेगी? आज रात क्या मेडिकल करवाया जाएगा? क्या ED दफ्तर में ही रखा जाएगा अरविंद केजरीवाल को? आगे की प्रक्रिया क्या होने वाली है आज रात और कल?
देखिए बिल्कुल अरविंद केजरीवाल की मेडिकल जांच होगी और मेडिकल जांच के बाद ईडी जो है सो अपने ऑफिस ले जा सकती है। लेकिन अभी जो खबर मिल रही है, सौरभ भारद्वाज सुप्रीम कोर्ट का दरवाज़ा उन्होंने खटखटाया है। पहले उन्होंने जो हाई कोर्ट का दरवाज़ा और उससे पहले जो याचिका लगाई थी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, वो लगाई थी ईडी की पूछताछ और उनके घर पर पहुँचने के समन को लेकर के। लेकिन अब सौरभ भारद्वाज ने इस गिरफ्तारी के खिलाफ याचिका लगाई है और ये सड़कों का नज़ारा है। एक साइड ट्रैफिक को खोल दिया गया है, यानी जो आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता थे उनको जो है सो बस में भर करके डिटेन करके ले जाया गया है। और अब दूसरी साइड जो ब्लॉक किया है, जो सड़क सीधे जो है सो मॉडल टाउन होते हुए बाईपास करनाल बाईपास जाती है, उसको खाली कराने की कोशिश है ताकि ट्रैफिक जैसे ही खुलेगी उसके बाद जो है सो अरविंद केजरीवाल को यहाँ से किसी भी वक्त ले जाया जा सकता है। तो ये आम आदमी पार्टी की भी रणनीति है। और सोमनाथ भारती से बातचीत हुई है, उन्होंने NewsX से बातचीत में कहा है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट को आज सुनवाई करना पड़ेगा। उन्होंने कहा है कि लोकसभा चुनाव में निष्पक्ष अगर चुनाव करवाना है तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को आगे आना पड़ेगा। जी,
क्या अरविंद केजरीवाल की टीम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के दरवाजों तक पहुंच गई है? आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं से आप लगातार बात कर रहे हैं, जैसे आप बता रहे हैं, यू स्पोक टू आतिशी अ शॉर्ट व्हाइल बैक, यू आल्सो स्पोकन टू सोमनाथ भारती. हैव दे ऑलरेडी मूव्ड द सुप्रीम कोर्ट? Are they seeking urgent hearing tonight itself, Manohar? I think Abhishek Manu Singhvi was representing him this afternoon. Is the legal team in a huddle right now? What is going to be their strategy ahead?
देखिए बिल्कुल अरविंद केजरीवाल की लीगल टीम जो है सो आपस में बातचीत करके आगे बढ़ रही है। कुछ देर पहले सौरभ भारद्वाज ने ट्वीट किया था और सौरभ भारद्वाज ने कहा कि हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा रहे हैं इस गिरफ्तारी के खिलाफ। और सबसे पहले हम एक बार फिर से आपको नज़ारा दिखा दें। ये आप देखिए, पुलिस और आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं के बीच जो है सो आर पार की धक्का मुक्की हो रही है। लगातार पुलिस कोशिश कर रही है कि इन्हें पकड़ करके ले जाया जाए और ताकि सड़क पर ट्रैफिक स्मूथ हो सके। हम भी कोशिश करते हैं उस साइड जाने की, लेकिन आप देखिए कितना लंबा जाम लगा था। लोग घंटों से, करीब 2 से ढाई घंटे का वक्त बीत चुका है, लोग यहाँ पर फंसे हुए थे और अब जो है सो एक रूट को भी स्मूथ किया गया है और उसके बाद दूसरे साइड जो है सो सड़क खाली करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। ये मैं आपको यहाँ का नज़ारा दिखा रहा हूँ। ये आप देखिए, रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स और दिल्ली पुलिस के जवान लगातार कोशिश कर रहे हैं इनको यहाँ से हटाने के लिए। ये आप देखिए यहाँ पर ये पकड़ करके दिल्ली पुलिस ले जाती हुई, ये आप देखिए किस तरह से पकड़ करके ले जा रही हैं। ये आप देखिए, ये नज़ारा है, ये पब्लिक का आक्रोश है, आम आदमी पार्टी के जो कार्यकर्ता हैं उनका आक्रोश है। ये आप देखिए, रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स और दिल्ली पुलिस के जवान ये कार्यकर्ता को उठा करके यहाँ से ले जाते हुए, ये आप देखिए क्या
पुलिस का आगे गुंडागर्दी नहीं चलेगी, नहीं चलेगी, मोदी तेरी तानाशाही नहीं चलेगी, नहीं चलेगी।
So clearly, of course, protesters there being whisked away by police. Aam Aadmi Party, of course, plans to escalate these protests. Remember, it is election season, so optics does matter. The security has, of course, also been up there. But now we will have to wait and watch as to what the legal road ahead as well will be for Arvind Kejriwal. What happens next, Mr. God? It's a regular bail plea that will be moved tonight, because as my colleague was just telling us, first the Aam Aadmi Party was preparing to go on the ED questioning because the ED had reached the Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Earlier it was being thought possibly it was a raid, possibly it was questioning that was going to happen, interrogation. Now though that an arrest has been effected, what is the legal strategy that Arvind Kejriwal's team is likely to adopt? What happens next? Is it a regular bail plea? What is the procedure?
There are two options. One is they go to the trial court, apply for the bail, and take regular recourse. There is another option. They will assail an arrest and the entire procedure adopted by ED before the Constitutional Court, before the Supreme Court, or before High Court. What is likely is they will be challenging this before Supreme Court, as they have not received, they have not got any relief from Delhi High Court today. But that was in relation to the interim relief only. Today they have only one recourse: apply for the bail, and that will be happening in the trial court only.
Okay, in fact, we are learning that Arvind Kejriwal's team is currently on their way to the house of the Supreme Court Registrar as we speak. They are, of course, going to demand an immediate hearing, an urgent hearing tonight itself. Very quickly, Ramakant Gaur, because you've been studying this case and how it's been proceeding. What can you tell us about the charges, the grounds on which the ED has effected this arrest today? Is it more for the evasion of summons? Is it because they believe they have a strong case against Mr. Kejriwal? Personally, what is the nature of the arrest today that has been made? Because perhaps when the hearing does happen, either tonight or tomorrow, the court is going to ask this question.
The foundation of this case was the registration of an of RC by the CBI. There are certain allegations whereby it is articulated that Aam Aadmi Party and its office bearers, stroke ministers, are benefited by the licensing policy, whatever they say that it was wrongfully floated and then there was a revenue loss to Delhi government. So once this was done, Satyendra Jain, who was the concerned minister, was arrested on 30th May 2022. He applied for the bail. He has not got any relief from Supreme Court till date. Subsequently, Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh, and other office bearers have been arrested. Supreme Court has specifically pointed this out. Justice Sanjeev Khanna's bench has quoted this, that there is no money recovered from Manish Sisodia, but Supreme Court did not grant any relief. Supreme Court observed why AAP is not an accused here. So once the relief is not given, review petition against that has already been dismissed. So the court has already reached the corridors of Supreme Court a couple of times.
Yes.
But there is no relief from Supreme Court
in
relation to Manish Sisodia, in relation to Satyendra Jain, and Sanjay Singh is yet to reach there.
Okay, but yes, but as Rishabh of course said earlier, we cannot preempt what the court will do. That is in the wisdom of whichever justice or judge hears this particular case. We'll have to wait and watch whether it's the CJI himself or
right
someone
now
else.
it's all CJI. The CJI. So Uday, they go to the registrar because that's the formality, right? Yeah. The senior Supreme Court advocates, the senior advocates, you can assume that they will be on the phone trying to connect with the Chief Justice. Okay. This is not just about procedure, it is also about politics. Let's not kid ourselves. Okay. Now, it could be, what are the options? The option is, okay, Chief Justice says, okay, I'm putting on my robe and I'm coming. Okay. Or I'm asking some judge to urgently hear the matter tonight and I'm instructing the registrar to do this. That discretion lies with the Chief Justice of India. He can make that choice. Whether he chooses to, whether he sees an urgency in the matter, is it a life and death matter? Is it a matter literally, if we don't make a decision tonight, and it can't wait till morning, maybe not. Regardless, the Supreme Court can either say, okay, you've gone to the High Court, and in matter of bail, we choose to hear it, or they can say, go and apply for bail back in the trial court, okay, then come back to us. That is a chance of a likelihood as also. So when there are individuals saying on the panel that, are we assuming that for a second that the courts have not given anybody bail? So obviously they see something which is worth investigating for the Enforcement Directorate. They obviously do. But at the same time, not getting bail is also not conviction, that you have been convicted in a trial. A trial really hasn't even happened. It's an investigation that is continuing for now several months over the course of 1 year. So it is a difficult ice cube to dice with a knife. Okay. And the point of the problem right now is that what is the course of action other than the legal course of action, which is pretty obvious and we can sort of spell out. The other course of action is completely unpredictable. I don't think anybody has a handle. The Delhi police have done a pretty decent job right now. Okay, they it seems pretty normal and pretty relaxed, which is how we hope it remains. In an ideal scenario, this goes to the courts make a judgment call. Either Arvind Kejriwal spends a few days in jail, or he's out by tomorrow morning, or in a week or 2 weeks. That's an ideal scenario, but I don't think we're living in an ideal scenario. I think the proof of the pudding, I don't know, honestly, Uday, I don't know how the Congress reacts. The Congress see an advantage because they themselves are no big fans of Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi, but they are allied with Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi. Putting out a tweet is not really helping anyone, no. That's not going to help the Aam Aadmi Party's cause. Will the Congress join the street protests of the Aam Aadmi Party? As we speak, we are being told by leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party that, they plan, of course, a day of protests in Delhi. You can assume there'll be a day of protests in Punjab. So I don't know where this goes, because honestly, it was probably a bit unexpected that this happened. The fact that he ignored several summons and could probably see it coming was not unexpected. What was the stratagem behind the Aam Aadmi Party avoiding the summons? Was it because they're painted in guilt and were running away, or indeed they thought it politically benefits them to not go? We can't say right now. So the legalese of this is probably more predictable than the politics of this right now.
Himanshu Bhatt, why don't you come in there and help us decode the politics of this all? Where do you see this headed in the days ahead? The Aam Aadmi Party, of course, planning a protest tomorrow. Reactions have started pouring in from opposition leaders, particularly the Congress. We've seen Priyanka Gandhi Vadra put out a tweet. We've also now seen Pawan Khera put out a tweet. We'll have to wait and watch what reactions from other India Alliance players will be. The Aam Aadmi Party, of course, is claiming this is vendetta. Where do you see this headed politically?
As Rishabh said, we'll have to wait and watch. But then, is it going to remain up to tweets? The politics, is it going to be remaining only up to tweets and nothing more than that? In that case, we'll see some, sense of semblance prevailing. But what I foresee, I'll tell you something. What I see is a test for the people of this country and how people think in this matter. Because see, on one side, you are going to have people from Aam Aadmi Party and other political parties trying to play an advantage for them in this situation. This is going to happen. Whether we like it or not, we'll have to accept it. Whether it is right, wrong, that's not the case. But you are going to see people sitting on the street. What this so-called farmers' agitation could not do, will this be able to do it in Delhi? Will it be able to choke Delhi? If that situation is going to come, then it will have a lot of politics. But these optics are going to heat up for a couple of days, and then I have a very strong feeling that there are no friends in politics. Despite being together, holding hands and making a photo up is one thing, and really standing to each other when the time comes. Do you think that anybody and everybody would come and support Arvind Kejriwal for this? Despite knowing certain things and having a definite perception in their mind. Similar thing are going to happen with the people also. See, there are supporters of AAP. We cannot say no. The rise of that party in last 10, 12 years has been nothing less than spectacular. But does it mean that whatever they say is right or whatever they do is right? Are they really kattar imandar, as they say? So that perception is going to be broken at a time. What is going to happen is people are going to be divided. People are going to carry the perception, and the optics of that will be visible, and that politics will play out on the streets of Delhi.
Okay, that's perhaps going to be something that the BJP is trying to, perhaps project. Chandni Preeti Shah, is that correct? That, this is the Kattar Imandar who now has this taint of an arrest on him. This is, of course, a case in which many other Aam Aadmi Party leaders have also been arrested in the past. That is something that the BJP has used to attack the Aam Aadmi Party time and time again. The AAP, of course, is claiming that this is simply vendetta, that nothing has been found, nothing has been recovered so far, and there is no conviction so far. So how can they be painted guilty? Chand.
So, Uday, since a few days, there is this whole talk about electoral bonds that's going on, and the talk about the quid pro quo that's going on, right? Where everyone is questioning BJP, from whom have they taken money, whom have they given something. So they have been questioning this kind of actions. Now, when you check the Delhi liquor scam, where the people are saying that nothing has been established, nothing has been proven in the court. Now, there are certain things that have been, facts that have been proven in the Supreme Court related to the Delhi liquor scam. First thing is, the ED established that the change that was made in the Delhi's liquor policy by the AAP government, that resulted in gains of, around 330 crores to wholesale distributors. Now, these distributors was the South Cartel, who funded the AAP's election campaign in Goa, right? The second thing they produced was the strong evidence that during the trial, to show that the quantum of money that was lost to an exchequer was much higher than initially estimated. They also demonstrated a money trail over over 500 rupees crore in the liquor scam, and the proceeds of this crime was amounting to at least 1,000 crores. So the Supreme Court has acknowledged this generation of kickbacks worth 330 crore plus. They've approved the proceeds of crime in the hands of the AAP leaders. That led to the attachment of the properties of AAP that was worth 128 crores. So it's not that nothing has been established. What ED is probing, it's probing that, maybe the AAP leadership, has paid bribes, what proceeds of crime were being used by the party during the last assembly elections in Goa, and what is this complex web of financial transactions and corruption. And because Arvind Kejriwal is the head of the party, I think it is all, the ED has all the rights to question Kejriwal related to the Delhi liquor scam. And if Kejriwal is found in the web of lies, then the arrest made is true and correct.
Okay, I'm being told Aditya is back with us on the broadcast, even as we continue to see these visuals come in from Arvind Kejriwal's residence of more and more workers now being detained by the police. There is a thick layer of security there outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence in civil lines, from Rapid Action Force to, of course, Delhi police who are present there in large numbers. Aditya, clearly the workers continue to be detained. Is that what you're seeing around you? And also, any word so far as to in how much time Arvind Kejriwal will be taken to the ED headquarters?
जी, अभी भी जैसे मैं आपको तस्वीर दिखाऊं कि ये देखेंगे, ये बसें जो हैं, ये बसों को यहाँ पे खड़ा इसलिए किया गया है ताकि जो भी कार्यकर्ता हैं, जो भी पार्टी वर्कर्स हैं, वो अगर किसी तरीके की कोई अनहोनी करने की कोशिश करते हैं या किसी तरीके की धरना प्रदर्शन की कोशिश करते हैं, तो उनको इसी बसों में जो है लेके जाया जाएगा, डिटेन किया जाएगा। और जो अभी देख रहे हैं कि कुछ लोगों को यहाँ पे डिटेन किया गया था, उन्हीं को इस बस में लिया जा रहा है। और इस तरीके की दर्जनों बसें ऐसे लगी हुई हैं कार्यकर्ताओं को यहाँ से लेके जाने के लिए। आप देखेंगे कि यहाँ पे पुलिसकर्मी कितनी जो मजबूती से खड़ी है, सख्ती से खड़ी है, और दोनों जो रास्ते हैं उनको बंद कर दिया गया है। जो जहाँ अरविंद केजरीवाल के जो दोनों रास्ते घर से निकलते हैं, एक जो गेट नंबर 1 जिसके सामने अभी मैं आपको खड़ा हूँ, आप देख सकते हैं कि जो डबल लेयर बैरिकेटिंग्स हैं वो किए गए हैं। उसके बाद में दूसरा जो रास्ता है जो सड़क के जस्ट किनारे जो सिविल लाइंस की तरफ से आता है, वहां पर भी इसी तरह की व्यवस्था की गई है। जो कार्यकर्ता है, पार्टी कार्यकर्ता, वो वहीं जाकर के बैठना शुरू कर चुके थे। इस वजह से जो है पुलिस को जो बल का प्रयोग करना पड़ा। हमने तस्वीरों में दर्शकों को दिखाया कि किस तरीके से पुलिस ने जो है कार्यवाही की है और सख्ती से जो है लोगों को उठा करके गाड़ी में भरना उन्होंने शुरू किया था। और ये स्थिति जो अभी बनी हुई, अभी भी जो है देख सकते हैं कि कार्यकर्ता जो है आए जा रहे हैं, लगातार जो है वो आ रहे हैं और धरना पे बैठ रहे हैं, सड़कों पे बैठ रहे हैं, जिस वजह से पूरा का पूरा जो सड़क है वो जाम हो चुका था और कई किलोमीटर का जो पूरा ये
क्या इसी वजह से ईडी रुक रही है? ईडी वेट कर रही है कि ये जो कार्यकर्ता है उनको हिरासत में लिया जाए, उसके पश्चात वो केजरीवाल को ले जाएंगे उनके घर से ईडी दफ्तर?
जी जी जी, सही कहा आपने कि इसी वजह से, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भीड़ इतनी है। हालांकि धीरे धीरे अब जो है पुलिस सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को लेके जा रही है। जो नेता थे जैसे संजीव झा थे उनको डिटेन करके पुलिस लेके गई है। तो ये एक मुख्य कारण बताया जा रहा है कि यहाँ पर जो पुलिस जो है वो लेके नहीं निकल रही है केजरीवाल को, ताकि क्योंकि जो व्यवस्था है वो खराब ना हो जाए, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कार्यकर्ता जो है सैकड़ों की संख्या में आए हुए थे और अभी जो स्थिति है वो कंटिन्यू उससे वैसे ही बनी हुई है। बताया जा रहा है कि कुछ ही समय में कुछ ही देर में जो है केजरीवाल को लेके जाया जा सकता है। पहले बताया जाता है गेट नंबर 1 से लेके जाया जाएगा, फिर ये बात हुई गेट नंबर 2 के पास लेके जाएगा, उसके बाद गेट नंबर 2 पे जो कार्यकर्ता है पार्टी के वो वहां पे इकट्ठा होने लगे थे। उसके बाद जो है पुलिस को सख्ती करनी पड़ी थी और जो पुलिस वाले हैं वहां पे लोगों को डिटेन करना शुरू कर दिया था और जो पूरा का पूरा सड़क था उसको खाली करवाया गया था। और अभी यही स्थिति बनी हुई है कि भीड़ कम हो जाए, लोग यहाँ से कुछ कम हो जाए, पुलिस संख्या बढ़ाई जा रही है। मैं आपको तस्वीरों में दिखाऊं कि जिस वक्त शुरुआत हुई थी उस वक्त बहुत कम पुलिस वाले यहाँ पे मौजूद थे, लेकिन अभी आप देखेंगे कि इस तरीके से पुलिस बल की संख्या जो है वो बढ़ा दी गई है। डीसीपी और एसीपी जो रैंक के लोग हैं, जो अधिकारी हैं, वो यहाँ पर जो है कंटिन्यू आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं और किसी तरीके से कोई अनहोनी ना हो, किसी तरीके से लोगों को, आम जनता को समस्या हो रही है उस चीज को भी देखा जा रहा है कि उनको भी कोई समस्या ना हो। पूरी जो सड़क है वो ट्रैफिक से भरी हुई है और कंटिन्यू इस तरीके की जो बसें हैं इन बसों को लाया जा रहा है और इन बस में पहले जो सुरक्षाकर्मी हैं, जो आरपीएफ के जवान हैं वो आ रहे हैं। उसके बाद जो है ये जो इसी बसों में जो है कार्यकर्ताओं को भर भर के जो ले जाया जा रहा है। इसके बाद जो है कुछ स्थिति किसी भी समय, ऐसा बताया जा रहा है कि किसी भी समय अरविंद केजरीवाल को गेट नंबर 2 से बाहर लेके जाया जा सकता है। इसके बाद जो है किसी तरीके से और जो है किसी अभी ये देख सकते किस तरीके से अभी ये किसको डिटेन किया गया है। हम कोशिश करते बात करने की
जी।
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.